Greetings from a very strangely warm midwinter's day in Hermanus, South Africa. I think the temperature was due to peak at about 23 degrees today. It's just crazy for end of July, but I'm sure it'll be followed by quite a spectacular storm and who knows, snow, and we'll get back to winter. But this is not what this video is about, of course. It's about an old bloke's beautiful art journey. And first I've got to give you an update on the horror, the abomination that I was busy creating in my last video, where I decided to go all big and bold with colors and completely, as you can see, rather spoilt what was quite a promising bit of art. If you take away those big, thick, colourful lines that I don't know. I posted it on Facebook sort of in a self-deprecating way and saying, I just don't know when to stop, when a piece of art is finished. And somebody said, yeah, I loved it the way it was. What were you thinking? And the only response I could give was file under brain fart. Because, I'm beginning to, I think it's a good idea not to let your brain get in the way when you're making art, but just to do it from an instinctive soul place. But, so I've softened these lines actually since I did them, and I might yet try to salvage it. Anyway, that's that. And that was a bit of a debacle, but I decided to get straight back on the bike that night. And I started small and I produced this little guy. And, I'm still at an early stage of this art journey, but if you look at the background here, you'll see that I've finally discovered how to blend colors and use water, which I've been terrified of, not terrified, but fearful about using. Mixed some colors on the canvas and sprayed a bit of water on it and got that background, so I was quite pleased with that, and I've been building on that. So I did this little piece, quite simple, but I quite like it. Quite a lot of catching up to do because I haven't posted a video for a while. Those thousands of you who saw the last one probably thought I'd given up painting and gone to work at the local McDonald's instead or something, but then I did this one. It's all about balance, of course. And again, very simple, but I was practicing that blending technique for the background, and I was quite happy with that again. Very simple, symbolic piece about achieving balance, or perhaps imbalance. But then I found a couple of large canvases at a couple of places where I go and do my grocery shopping or whatever, and it was quite unusual to find them there. Big ones that didn't cost an arm and a leg. And let's make this quick. I decided to do, for some reason, again my brain got in the way, decided to do some sort of political satire, very ambitiously, on war and wars fought in the name of religion, or influenced by religious stances. And in this one that I'm showing you, I was going to do The Last Supper, a sort of alternative anti-war take on the Last Supper. And I won't go into too much detail because, well, I was going into too much detail. I had my old slide rule from school days out with a pencil, and I was going to do the disciples in triangular shapes, and I was sorry about the shadow in the video, but I mean, started. I thought, well, let's just see. Let me start with the disciple on the right of Da Vinci's great masterpiece, and that's his tunic, that's his hair, that's his goatee. So I was going to do it obviously in abstract, but still it required me to, to be quite considered about how I created this, and. That's his goatee, and then his hair, and then I used the brown for the next disciple. I started about just going to be his tunic and his hair and his beard, and it was also, I thought, no, this is going to take me weeks to do. I've got to be so particular. Well, even though I'm doing it in abstract, it's got to bear some resemblance to Da Vinci's The Last Supper. And then I was going to have behind the Jesus figure Netanyahu in a suit with a red tie that ran down over the tablecloth and into this sandy desert area, a river of blood with crosses, and instead of a white dove signifying peace, I was going to have a blackbird with a broken olive branch, and there was a whole lot more. And I started doing it, and I thought, no, this is not what I'm. Other people can do this. I don't need to make big anti-war. Well, perhaps I do need to make big anti-war statements because I feel very strongly about it. That's what led me to starting this piece. But I thought it's going to be soul-destroying because we're going to spend weeks painting all of the disciples across here, and it's just not what I wanted to do. So this morning, I looked at it and I thought, no, I'm going to give it up. I'm probably going to paint over that. And I had this other canvas that I bought, and I got my gesso out. I just needed to see the bottle of gesso. And I'd bought a couple of big brushes, which you'll see there. And I thought, well, let's make a background on the next canvas using a mixture of gesso and some paints. And I just pulled out some colours. And I created this, which is a background to my next painting. But it was just such a release. It was, you can see the swirls of colour, and I don't know where I'm going to take it from here, but it was just such fun. It's got a feeling of absolute joy, mixing the gesso and the paint and adding spraying some water on it. It's busy drying at the moment, and I don't know where I'm going to go with this, but this just feeds my soul, unlike the Last Supper lampoon, political satire, call it what you will, which was going to be so, I don't know, considered. And anyway, that's where I'm at with this piece. It's going to be upright. Probably, I'm not going to turn the phone because I know that does strange things to your visual experience, but I can fit it up on that little easel of mine there. This is my guest bedroom, by the way. Contact sheets from my London days. Paint and tin foil that I used some weeks ago to create some art. It's a bit of a mess. Fortunately, I don't think I have anybody coming to stay here for a while, so it's like a it's become a part of my studio, which is increasingly taking over my pad here. Anyway, that's all for now. I thought I'd update. I did bounce back from that bold colour stripe debacle, my brain fart, and I think this now I just need to bear in mind that there's a finishing point, and not spoil a rather lovely background. I think I got a bit lucky there with the mix of the gesso and the paint and just enough water. I didn't overdo any one of them, and pleased with that. Anyway, I'll update sometime. We'll just wait for this sort of pseudo summer weather to end, because surely it must, probably with a hell of a storm of thunder and lightning, which would be lovely. Anyway, ta-ra.